guys you want to get out of these next 3 days?
Well, we just want to compete some more and look at our guys against different people. You know, our ones against their ones, our twos against our twos, and see how our guys progressing and see who steps up as the competition will step up.
What did you learn about your team last year after going through those days in the Patriots, and how did that help your preparations the rest of the preseason?
Well, it helped us evaluate our players. That's the number one objective is, A, continue to implement our system, obviously, and learn what we're doing, but B, see how our players react to the competition and try to on our best 53, our depth chart moving forward in the first, second, third preseason game. Really, you know, there's no final judgments will be made out of these 3 practices, but we will learn a lot about our guys and how far we have to go to get ready for Miami.
Cornerback's a position where you had a lot of depth coming into the camp. Now you're a little bit weaker there. You brought in some guys, already signed a guy a couple of days ago. What's the challenge for those guys who come in right now? I know they can make the team, but I would imagine that's a pretty tough hill to climb.
It is. You know, they're behind the 8 ball a little bit from a mental standpoint, but hopefully we'll get enough out of them, see them physically, see what they can do. We have a lot of drills where we see them play some man-to-man, some one-on-one drills, and then just slowly get them acclimated to the position. A lot of them, you know, they know basic coverages, and they can fit in there pretty well, but they are behind a little bit, but we can still see how they're progressing as far as a skill standpoint.
Jay, what kind of things change for Keenan Robinson now in Joe Barry's defense?
What kind of things change?
Yeah.
Well, there's obviously the terminology things, and we're playing defense a little bit differently, coverages a little bit differently. There's a lot of nuances that carry over, but there's a lot of things that change. And he's a very bright guy, and last year's experience as far as playing full-time really helped him. Seeing the game, seeing formations, recognizing formations, making the calls, making the checks. Now he's using different words, but some of it's carry over, but a lot of it's change, and he's doing a good job.
And to completely change gears, for Pierre Garçon, what kind of things can you do to get him the ball more?
Well, you know, all our plays, Pierre's a viable option. You know, some of them more so than others, but what the coverage dictates. And, you know, we'll try to move him around and try to get him the ball a little bit more because he's very good after the catch. And obviously he's an excellent receiver, as is Deshaun, as is Crowder showing up. Andre's done some good things, Ryan Grant. Obviously, Jordan Reed, Niles Paul, they're doing a great job. So, you know, when you go back to pass, you don't have one guy in mind. This is an Xbox. You don't hit the X button. You have to read the coverages and make your throw, determine on what is there for you. So he's always going to be an option for us. How many times he gets the ball, it's impossible to predict, though.
Jay, can we go back to Monday for a second and talk about Robert in that 2-minute drill, 8 for 8, led the team pretty confidently down the field, 80 yards. What did you think of him in that drill, and just overall the past few days? What have you thought of his? And
yeah,
also,
he had a great day, and it was a great drill for him. We've had trouble in the 2-minute drill, you know, last year and a half or so, but that was an excellent drill for him. And early on, it was, you know, just taking what was given to him, making the completion, moving the chains, getting the team huddled up quickly, getting the call, or not huddled up, but to the line quickly, getting the calls out. And then he had a big one in Niles Paul finally that really got us down there in the red zone. And then he sat on his back foot there and hit Ryan Grant for a touchdown. So it was a great period for our offense, you know, from a protection standpoint to hurrying up, getting on the line, and then obviously punching it in. And Robert obviously was the key. Yes.
Jay, how much of a relief was to get the David Amerson news that it's not that bad? Day to day, I think he told us today. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he probably won't go today. It's a little sore, but it is a relief that it's nothing serious. I think hopefully tomorrow for the Texans he'll be able to do something, but we'll see. He's a tough guy. He's having a good camp. He's really improving.
Were you starting to get concerned before you heard that news about corner depth? I mean, you have the starters there, but the guys behind them were, you know,
yeah, pretty young.
out.
Yeah, we were a little bit. You know, Breland and then Amerson and D Hall's, you know, getting his time off also. So we're a bit light back there, but you know, with Amerson, hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. We added you know, a guy here and there, so we're working our depth there. But it's always a challenge. It seems like every year in camp there's one position that gets hit with the injury bug, and it's corner right now. But you know, I think we'll fight through it.
Coach, last week you mentioned Arie as making some progress, showing up pretty well. You just mentioned Jamison, somebody who's standing out. Is Arie still making progress? And I know it's early, but can you get a sense for how good this young class of players might be?
Yeah, it's early yet, but I'm obviously excited. Every day they come out and they seem to get better, and they all seem to be doing something a little bit better, and that's what you're looking for, steady progression from the young guys. And we're not looking for perfection. We're not expecting perfection, but we're expecting them to come out and compete and get better every day, and that's what they're doing. All the young guys so far. Keyshawn is another one who's doing an excellent job at safety. He's playing nickel. He's lined up at corner from time to time. Keyshawn, all those guys, they just got to keep doing it day in and day out, and that's the challenge for these young guys, is not to have one good day followed up by a bad day. It's continue to get better and follow up one day after another.
Coach, we've heard Junior Gillette won't be practicing against the Texans. How's his recovery going, and what do you want to see from him before he starts participating fully?
Yeah, he's probably just going to do walkthroughs today, and I don't know if we're going to see him against the Texans or not. I would probably doubtful. We're going to start him in the walkthroughs, get him acclimated, and make sure when we do start him, he's 100% physically and mentally. So we're excited about his progress, where he is, and where he's going.
Do you plan to carry 3 quarterbacks on the roster this season? And if so, what is the ranking, if you will, between Kirk Cousins and Colt McCoy?
Both of them have had their good moments, great moments, man. They really have. They've done a good job. But, we're going to let the preseason games really be the factor in how many we keep and who's number 2 and who's number 3. Last year we kept 3, obviously. That's not etched in stone, but a good possibility we'll keep 3. But right now they're just going to continue to compete and take advantage of the reps they get. But really, once the games start, the Texans will be a good test for them also. And then we have 4 good preseason games to make that determination.
Hey, Jay, I was just reading some stories from last year about when you addressed the team with the Instagram and Twitter stuff in November. It's like amazing memories. I'm curious, starting over here with a new group, if with new guys in here and a new season, if you talk to them at all about social media, or if you have any preference for how they would deal with social media this season.
Yeah, we've addressed it. I don't read. I read the things one time when I was trying to kill time for another meeting, but it got blown out of proportion. I read it every day. But no, they're aware of it, and and it's an important part of being a pro is how you handle social media nowadays. It's something that has to be addressed, and we've had our experts address it, and hopefully they understand the importance of it.
You said you guys added another cornerback. Who is that?
Today?
Yeah, you said we just added another guy.
We we worked a couple guys out. We got to make sure we're not sure yet.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else? Pass it back.
Uh-oh.
Jay, just on the pass catching threat out of the backfield, how has that emerged throughout competition here? Obviously, replacing Roy Halou, who was good in that area. But what are your options there? How good is Silas? Is Chris Thompson someone you can rely on in that spot?
I think Chris Thompson's really starting to emerge as a third down back. If we can obviously keep him healthy, he's done an excellent job both in the running game and the passing game, and he's done an excellent job in protection so far. So another competition for that spot is ongoing, and will continue to go on throughout training camp and the preseason games.
Hey, Jay. You were called a great play designer by one of the national media guys yesterday. I'm wondering, in year 2, with everybody kind of a little bit more into the system, can you add more to maybe what you did last year, or do you kind of keep it the same and get better at what you already had?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's something you battle with every day. You might have great ideas, but they're only good if everybody understands the same ideas that you have, and we have to coach them. So I think the big thing we're trying to do is make sure we have familiarity with what we're doing, the good things that we like and comfortable with, and then obviously each week, each game plan, we'll branch off and add a few different things to our formations. But overall, I think we've practiced enough in OTAs in the first couple days to last us a season, but we're always looking for change and innovation, and something will come up.
Hey, Jay, with the new O-line coach, new right side of the line, how good of a litmus test will this next week of practice be, especially against a guy like J.J. Watt and the Texans D-line?
That'll be great. J.J. Watt's the best, and it'll be a great challenge. I want to see who's going to line up first against them one-on-ones. It's going to be a fun one. But, anytime you go against another professional football team, they're going to have good players, obviously, and Texans are no different, and it's going to be a great challenge for any young offensive line. And it's very important for us to, whatever happens in these 3 practices, just continue to grow and get better and continue with the line of communication. It's so important for offensive linemen to make sure we're all on the same page. And they're going to get beat from time to time, but they just stay steady in their progression and continue to work hard and continue communication. Good things will work out. Thanks, Coach. All righty. Thank you.